here. Yeah. Red baby, what's up? What up, Michelle? Michelle in the building. What's happening? Michelle in the building. What's happening? Is that my volume? Is that my volume? Yeah. I was wondering what was going on. It was kind of low. Spooky, what up? Good morning, everybody. Rise and shine. Rise and shine. What up, Sonny? Everett? What up, Reinvented? Yeah, Michelle, I see you. What up, Contagious? What up, Letitia? Yeah, 10 on the dot today. There you go. Appreciate that, Stephanie. It's my anniversary. That's what's up. Y'all heard that, right? Y'all saw that right there? It's Red Baby's anniversary, y'all. Yeah. What up, Cheryl? What up, Majid? What up, Listry? Let's give a shout out to Red Baby. It's her anniversary. She said we gonna kick it in North Myrtle Beach for the week. That's what's happening. Yeah, it's your anniversary. Good morning from Albuquerque. Everybody check in, city and state. Where y'all at? What up, AJ, KJ? What's happening? What up, Cheryl? Yeah, where y'all at in the world, man? Talk to me. And you're getting wished happy anniversary everywhere. And it's Victoria's birthday. So happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Victoria. Happy birthday to you. Everybody, it's just a little bit after 10 o'clock on November 10th. This is Thursday, you guys. 63 degrees here in Atlanta, and it's only going to inch up to 67 degrees. I believe that has a lot to do with the Hurricane Nicole that's coming out of from the south right now. LA in the building, Boston in the building. We got Caldwell, Texas, Maryland in the building. Yeah, man, it's a happy day. Shoot, we got happy birthdays, we got happy anniversaries. We got anything else? Is there anything else we could be happy about other than, the breath in our lungs and the smiles on our faces? That's what's up. Okay, how are things, Sunny? Sunny said it's coming through her area right now. New Orleans, Houston, Seattle in the building. Yeah. 69 here, high as 75. You go ahead, Stephanie. It's going to get a little toasty. I like the sound of that. I like warm. I like being warm more than I like being cold. That's why when I left Michigan, I didn't miss that. Ooh, no, you didn't say 39 degrees. What's going on in New Mexico? Albuquerque. 39 degrees in Albuquerque, y'all. Come on, man. 38 degrees where Capadonna's at. You're welcome, Vic. Yeah. We sing for happy birthdays around here. We celebrate folks. Eric Travis asks, look at the there's a person in the chat named Eric Travis who asks, what's unique about you? Y'all can fill in the blank for him. Just a lot of wind, but Daytona homes on the beach are collapsing into the ocean. Wow. That's crazy. Cheryl, you moved from Cleveland, Ohio to where? Where'd you move to? Okay, Capadonna's out in Seattle. I used to live in Tacoma for a short time. Why, thank you, Angela. I can take that every day. Handsome, green-eyed friend. I can take that every day, y'all. Y'all have no idea. And it's the green that's pulling it out too. Plus, the tough morning. So we are up and running on all platforms right now. If you guys happen to pop over to YouTube, you could do that too. You guys can actually have YouTube running while this is while we're live here on these other ones. Cheryl says you got personality, woo, personality. Hey, personality. That's what's up. New Orleans, beautiful weather, man. Yeah, man. Portland Ave near Salations Projects. Okay. Now, I didn't really hit Seattle like that. You know what I'm saying? I was more or less really just in Tacoma. Like, that's all I can remember until I traveled back, this way. Sonny said, he sure does. No, that guy, somebody popped in and was like, what's unique about you? And I'm like, that's more for everybody else to answer more so. And your book title lets us know you care to teach. Yeah, man. There you go. Oh, whenever somebody says that now, the first thing I do is go to that mirror thing because I don't want y'all to see it crazy. And the bad part about it is I don't know how to do it. What's up, Rhonda? Rhonda Mack, FHE. Yeah, I shipped it. Yeah, everybody's books that ordered their books the other day got shipped. They're signed, it's sealed, and will be delivered. How about that? I got a chance to get all those things out. Today I was thinking, right? Because I don't have an opportunity not to. You know what I mean? Like, what up, Queen? El Michelle said, you're just amazing in so many ways, dope, intelligent, wise, etc. Thank you so much. But I have you ever noticed that most of the craziness that happens and when people do things that the first thing they say is, I didn't think. You can order it today, Angela, and it'll be right out like tomorrow. Kevin South from Federal Way, not from Seattle. I didn't know you knew the area. I went to Decatur High School. That's what's up. I'm a little bit familiar with it, but not too familiar with it. What up, Rob? But yeah, had y'all noticed that, man? So here's the book again for anybody who needs to see it. And then if y'all need to know where to get it at, I'll type it in one of the chats or whatever. Had y'all ever noticed that most of the craziness that's ever happened with other people to you is those three words? I didn't think. I didn't think. Capadonna, he said, what's a brief backdrop to the book about? It's called Billionaire Talk, Social Digital Currency, Your Social Media Birthright and How to Use It. It just outlines how when you get on these platforms, you get an opportunity, you're inundated with an unlimited amount of what's called social digital currency, which is the actionable items that you use to create and support the engagements that you make on these platforms. So you can honestly, so I don't have to break it all the way down, if you go to my YouTube channel, we spoke on this for a good 2 hours the other day, and I broke down the book and I broke down how to use it. So you can do that. Red, the thing that I always noticed, you know what I'm saying, and what I had to start helping people understand is you don't get an opportunity to not think. And the reason being is because your mind is always thinking. So when you say, I didn't think, it's crazy. Supermodel said the book is worth it. Y'all need to purchase 2, one for you and one for him to donate. Okay, that's dope. Yeah, I didn't think about that. But you can't continue to, I didn't think it's not it's not a good excuse. When somebody starts that off with a sentence, I say we can stop right there. Like, we don't have to do that anymore. You know what I'm saying? We don't have to do that anymore. The moment that you said, I didn't think, you've already showed me that there's no care and concern about what you're about to say afterwards. So why would I want to even hear it or continue with the conversation? Because you didn't consider me. And you absolve yourself by not considering me by saying, I didn't think. Like, that's one of the most craziest thing for a person. It's like saying, I didn't breathe. Yes, you did. You breathe. You can't stop breathing. God forbid. But I'm saying you always breathing. So if you always breathing, if your heart is always beating, you're always thinking. But you hear people say that to you. Man, I didn't think. What? You're not thinking cost me. Like, your not thinking has compromised me. Didn't compromise you because you already knew you. That's right. People know what they're doing, Supermodel. You're absolutely right. And it's one of those challenges that we have to help people understand. You don't have a right to not think. And it starts, as you're a kid. As a kid, that was the thing that was our scapegoat. We said, some people still use it as an adult. I haven't read that book yet, Capadonna. But see, that's the thing. Coffee says, I can't believe that they mean that. They get caught and can't think of any other excuse. Now, albeit you recognize even in that it's an excuse, and I believe they absolutely know what they were doing and what they got into. You know what I mean? Because there are those urges that happen when you're doing something that immediately you know what's going on. And as of course it's one of those things that you grow into. But if you don't teach it early, if you don't let them use that as a scapegoat, then you make kids think about consequences. And a lot of times we don't go into growing thinking of the consequences. We only think about what we're a part of and what we're doing. You know what I'm saying? We don't think about the consequences of the actions. You know what I'm saying? Supermodel said they were using you and you saw it for what it was. There are a lot of real people getting pawned because they don't recognize the low budget energy and the people they engage with in business. Wow. That's why I stay solo and pure hearted. All right. Listen, I agree with everything except for the staying solo, because I think when we stay solo, it's equivalent to us taking ourselves out of the game, especially if we're really good participants in the game. That's always going to be my recommendation, is that we can't take ourselves out of the game, because taking ourselves out of the game or standing on the sidelines or removing ourselves or being to ourselves, we are robbing those people who need us outside of those same people. Like, you know what I'm saying? When I say there are people, we can't let those people whose actions are really creepy and crazy. Thank you, Angela. We can't allow them to deter us from being there for the community of other people who actually absolutely need us. You know what I'm saying? I like independent. Okay, independent. I get that. I'll give y'all an example. Being a part of Clubhouse and being somebody influential on the platform, as it started to shift, the mindset I should have taken would have been standing in the fold and then really, really pushing hard and pushing back on the negativity that was coming in. Now, when I say pushing back, I only mean just to plant my feet and really stand 10 toes down for for what I developed. You know what I'm saying? And instead, I was like, and there were some other reasons why, I don't participate on Clubhouse as much. I may be returning and figuring out how to be more of a part of it, but when we take ourselves out of the equation for those people who move recklessly, we don't show them the example that needs to be set. And it's so crazy, because I said this before. There was a huge discussion on Clubhouse. Most of you don't know about this, but there was a huge discussion on Clubhouse when they announced that they were opening it up to Android users. Now, I can tell you that Clubhouse made a few major missteps. One of them is that they made the app all-inclusive. One of the major dope points about Clubhouse at the time was that somebody had to co-sign you in. And the good part about that is, and this is how your this is why Usher's relationships are so dope, and this community and our crew is so dope, is because it's an exclusive membership to be friends with Usher. And what I mean I mean is this: you can't just join our circle. You have to be, somebody has to, no pun intended, usher you in. You got to be vouched for. And it's important. It's important that everything that we do, that you get vouched for. You know what I'm saying? Like, your friendship should be cultivated with the onus of the new person coming in being on somebody who's already in. That way, when it comes time to when it comes time, like when you look at when you go to my my clubhouse and you see that Be Rich was the one who co-signed me in, I've always felt responsible to Be Rich. Like I've always felt like, yo, this dude, you know, who is wildly successful in the music industry as well, has done a lot of dope things. I didn't even know he was gonna vouch for me. I had no idea. What up, David? I had no idea he was gonna be the person who sponsored me getting on the app. So yeah, Supermodel, it was a vetting process. Anybody couldn't get on there. You know what I mean? So yeah, you got to keep the camp clean at all costs. You are the company that you share. Absolutely, you guys. So when you got vouched for, then that person was responsible for you, and then you had to own this to somebody. This is why, even on the dating scene, it's better for somebody to refer you to somebody to say, hey, I know somebody I think might be good for you. Because what it does is it allows you to really structure great and healthy people being in your circle and in your system. So on Clubhouse, one of the dopest things they did was they had this exclusivity to it that everybody couldn't join it. Then when that time came, we had a town hall and everything. I don't know if any of you guys were there. There was a town hall regarding what we're going to do, what the existing community was going to do when they opened the app up to Android users. Literally, when I say a town hall, I'm saying over 1,000 people, maybe 1,500 people were in this room. Yeah, David, it was lit in the beginning. Like all of us were in a room communicating about what we're going to do when the Android people got on. And I said it, and I said, all we have to do is maintain our position and continue doing what we're doing. And they will create their own rooms and whatnot. But if we're here standing 10 toes down and continuing what we're doing, they will see how it's done correctly. But Clubhouse also did some other things that undermine the ability to do that successfully. So as I was saying, we had rooms that were huge. Your positive room and your mindset rooms, your make money rooms, your entrepreneurship rooms, your motivational rooms. These rooms would have 5, 6, up to 1,000 or more people in them. And that was because they had another thing. Everyone couldn't open up rooms. Everybody wasn't allowed to start a club. And I watched the demise of the exclusivity, which is one of the dope points about it, go under. And so as the atmosphere changed, so did the way that we moved and did our thing. Look at Stephanie. Woo! Stephanie subscribed, y'all. Let's give Stephanie a round of applause. Go ahead, Stephanie. It's been a long road. It's been a long road for Stephanie to join, but Stephanie is in the building. Whoop, whoop. I see you, girl. That's what's up. So some of those things changed and it made the platform wonky in that I know, right? Made it wonky in that regard because now it's a free-for-all. And so in that, allowing everybody, so before you had to open like 7 rooms and be able to manage all these people. Can you imagine? This is one of these are becoming the tools that they're using to allow anybody in. When you had rooms that was opening, that was that thought. You know what I mean? Here's the thing. You had great speakers in those rooms who actually thought about what they were saying, who actually cared about the culture of the platform. Hey man, this ain't no negative space, man. We ain't doing that. Literally, these were things that we said is that we were not going to be promoting negativity. We wasn't going to give off this negative energy in this space. We collectively just always wanted to keep good vibes. Y'all don't understand. There were times where people were on stage and they were emotional and people prayed over them in those rooms. There were times when people were in need financially and people came in and said, hey, I'll donate. I remember one time there was somebody donated like $20,000. $20,000 for a young lady in need. There were rooms like that were happening because that's what we were on. And when the platform opened up and became non-exclusive on, who could join, Then they took away they took away this part where you had to know your stuff. You had to be a person who could actually cultivate a room and hold a conversation and have that space being really, really dope. I was doing something on a weekly basis where I'd invite my entertainment friends to come and talk with us for about 2 or 3 hours, and those rooms that have about 3,000 to 6,000 people in them. So I had Tiffany Haddish come on. I had, I was a part of the Usher collective when Usher came on, which that room was ridiculous. There were a bunch of times where we cultivated a great interview and a great conversation in a great space. After that, they let anybody open up a club. I remember the day they did it because I got invited to over 100 clubs. I swear to you, no joke. I probably still haven't answered all the invites. It was that many. There were so many invites. What up, Jacob? There were so many invites to join people's clubs that there was no longer anything special about having a club. That's one of those things that is an undermining process in what I watched happen in the deterioration in so many things. The reason why you guys get all this reckless music right now is because anybody can upload it, because anybody can act as their own record label without any kind of guidance, without any kind of wherewithal, without any kind of history of doing anything positive in the space. Any one of you right now could upload a song. It could be horrible as I don't know what, but you could upload a song and get it going. You know what I'm saying? All right, Chuck, that's a DM on another place. And because of that shift, a lot of people sold out and started accepting deals against their own people to elevate their platforms and Clubhouse and on other platforms. Absolutely. They are that's Whitney Houston, Jacob. There are those instances. Yep, they ran off the big celebrities when people tried censoring them and canceling them. So they changed a lot of the programs, and the celebrity appeal, they left because there was no protection. There was no protection for when you had these people come on. You know what I mean? That's why, fortunately for me, I cultivated a really dope moderation panel. I had a really good safe space for people, so I could bring up my guests and I could have other people come up. And I'd have my day ones and those people who are always with me come up on the stage, and then we invited other people. But they all help manage the culture of the space, similar to my TikTok family. Like, you can't come on this TikTok live and be disruptive and crazy and all that without I don't even have to do anything. My moderators will shut it down before I even have to say anything. And I typically acknowledge it, but I never really get too crazy into it. It's a really cool app, Angela. It was at one point. It was really, really dope. The best time to have been on Clubhouse would have been when they were really trying to manage it better. I appreciate that, David. David said, in my opinion, you were in the top 10 of the biggest people on Clubhouse. Thank you so much, because there was a lot of work put into that, man. Trying to just, and then they did some other things that really undermined people's ability to flourish on the platform, and they never got around to figuring out, for the amount of time that people spent on there, they didn't know how to make it make sense. All these other platforms are doing it. Yes, El Michelle says, so many missed opportunities with celebrities, self-serving interests of the founders. Yep, I was moderating legends and huge celebrities for a while. Yes, you were. I remember, I know you cultivated a really dope relationship with Snoop, and now y'all are friends and whatnot. And you know what I'm saying? It's so many things that that when they opened the gate and allowed people to do whatever they wanted to do. Now Clubhouse, if I go to it right now and I scrolled, there may be 1 or 2, maybe 3 positive rooms, but if you look at the titles, almost everything has a negative connotation to it. Yeah, see Taushi says that I love Clubhouse. Now I only hop on when friends pull me in. Likewise, I may not open the app but 2 or 3 times a week, and I just look and I scroll down the hallway. I look to see what's going on. I may pop in a room, but I'm not contributing because the energy and the atmosphere is off. And to go back to where we started at, I think that the behavior and the mindset is being held by people who didn't think. You know what I'm saying? Like, people who absolutely didn't think about what they do and how it looks. Like, the energy on the platform is crazy. It's the Wild Wild West. Diana, it's crazy. I got a phone call the other day, where they want to reintroduce me on the platform, but in a different light, a different way. Facts. I jumped in the room last week. They was yelling and screaming. Nobody cared anything. That part. Nah, I'm not a Jacob. I can't work on fan base. If you saw my if you were on Instagram and saw my post, I know personally the guy who founded fan base. His name is Isaac Hayes. We used to be friends. Like I got pictures with me and Isaac out. Like that's my boy. Like that. And during the pandemic, I lost a lot of friends during the pandemic. I lost not because of. I lost friends because of their position and then their position toward me while discussing their being inundated to policy. I didn't go with the policy that was out there when the government was putting it on people. You know what I'm saying? I didn't go with the status quo when they were saying in the beginning of the pandemic, when they were like, you know, this and that about it. I told everybody, you know, you have all you need. Your body will take care of you. I said, don't. And to Donald Trump's point, he said, don't go to the hospital. He said, stop watching the news. Those were the most important two things he said, outside of the dumbness that was coming out of the government as well, talking about stay inside and all those kinds of things. I didn't stay inside. I ran. They said it was a respiratory, disease and infection. I ran. You know what I'm saying? Like I went out and I did the work. I did the research. When they said that hydrochloroquine and some other things actually work, I did the research and I was like, yeah, it does work. And the way that it works, you know, I went through it. Like I did a lot of research. I'm that kind of person. You know what I'm saying? I'm a hypochondriac when it comes to, health and wellness. And so I dig in. I want to know. Like, you know what I'm saying? I want to know that's exactly right, Angela. You learned who people were in that moment. And he said something stupid. That you don't even like. I'm very mindful of my words. And you guys know I'm, even when we're talking and people type stuff, I kind of tweak it or correct it so that it gives it the meaning that the person really intended. Sometimes we loosely talk, we loosely communicate, and we don't say things in the way that they should be said where it means what it means. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, you have the best medicine. Your mindset. That was the start. That was the start of it. So when I unplugged from the TV and just did the work, it all made sense to me. You know what I'm saying? It made sense. And so he said one day he actually invited me. He had like a panel or thing where he was doing. He invited me on, and I was giving my position and helping him understand. Like, listen, man, y'all are acting like y'all have short-term memory. Your parents, your grandparents have been through all this stuff. They've given you the remedy for this stuff. Now, is this got a little more edge to it? Maybe. Who knows? But I think that should any of us get it, that we'll be okay, because it has a time limit on it. Like it has a high potency moment, and then it doesn't. So if you do the work, if you manage your health, if you do the things that they say do for it, the first things when this thing started taking off, I went straight to Google. So I went straight to Google. And the reason why I searched on Google is because if you do it fast enough, you get the honest truth about something, and then they start changing it. So you can get how you get the truth up front, and then when somebody else comes in and say, hey, we can't give them that honesty, then they change it. So the first thing that they said was treat it like the flu. All right. Well, how about this? I ain't never got the flu, so I don't have to worry about that. You know what I'm saying? Yep, that's dope. That's dope, Tasha. She said, I managed the building of seniors and started ordering all things to boost immune system. No cases for 6. That's dope. And that's what everybody should have did. What up, Maestro? What up, Kimmy? Is that people forgot the things that worked. I keep saying this, and I'm going to continue to say it, that they're preying on our short-term memory. They are praying that we don't remember things effectively. If you think about everything that has this quick switch to it, the music industry, they started pouring all this whack music in, and guess what you did? You forgot about the nostalgia of dope music. You know what I'm saying? Last night I went out. I went to the club last night because I needed to hear some music. I'm well. Thank you so much for asking. Hope you're good too. I went out to the club last night, and this is not going to be a popular opinion amongst most people, but I'm going to keep it 100. I grew up listening and loving, what up, Vanessa? R. Kelly's music. Excuse me. Had no idea about all the other stuff that was going on, but I loved his music. Last night, they played 5 or 6 of his records for the first time in quite a while, and the whole club, you could feel the nostalgia. You could feel the nostalgia kick in on the thing. You could feel it. You could feel the nostalgia of his records and what his records meant to the world. Like, it was a moment. Like, everybody in the club just was like, it was almost like a sigh of relief. And I hated the fact that that people can't separate the two, when in every other situation that people can absolutely separate the two. They absolutely separate for 20 years and beyond. Jacob, is longer than 20 years. You know what I'm saying? Like, he has been a staple in the creative space. He creatively, I know people don't want to feel like that, but the guy was a genius when it came to what he did creatively, musically. And he worked with everybody. And I had to point that out last night. They played other records. I was like, yo, y'all know he did that right. Y'all know he did this right. And it's unfortunate that people, Instagram, if it's bugging out a little bit, go over to my YouTube. I think Instagram is bugging because I got a text that I had to respond to. It looks like it's blinking on and off. But it's one of those things where they're preying on your short-term memory, and the nostalgia of the music last night made everybody remember why they appreciated what it was. You know what I'm saying? Like, it takes that, right? So I got into a situation with the owner of fan base, and he wished death upon me. He said that what did he say exactly? He said that if I didn't think COVID was so whatever, that why don't I go out and get it? And in my mind, I'm saying, bro, if you think that COVID causes death, why would you say that to me? Like, if you believe that the outcome of catching COVID is death, why would you ever say that to me? Like, we supposed to be friends. Like, I've known Isaac at least 15 years. Now, I've never been to his house or anything like that. We ain't never kicked it and all that kind of, you know what I'm saying? But every time we're out, we speak, we chop it up, we might talk for a minute. You know, I respected his father big time. I met his father out in LA at the Guitar Center once. He did an in-store, but his father, ridiculously talented, loved his dad. You know what I'm saying? But that's why, that's fan base is not a viable choice for me. I know we got a little detracted, but that's why I can't do fan base. I don't like the owner like that. Like, the owner has not apologized, and I have no and the crazy part is, on Instagram, he'll jump in my lives. He jumped in my live the other day. I don't know if anybody on Instagram saw that. He popped in. I don't know how long he stayed, but he popped in. Then he'll also comment on my material. On my post. So the other day, I posted on my page a video that's gotten a ridiculous amount of traction. I want to say it was the video, either Malcolm X video or Fred Price video. It was one of the videos that was really saying, stand up and do something. Be, like, you can't sit on the sidelines. And then he said something to the effect like, this is the most irresponsible post ever, something to that degree. And I'm like, how is somebody who's sitting on the sidelines going to try to say something about somebody who's actively in the game? Like, if you ain't got nothing positive to say, man, just shut up. Like, and that's how I feel about LeBron James and, with his comment with Shannon Sharp, his comment with these people who saying what they saying about Kyrie Irving. They don't have to say it. Just shut up. It goes back to what we're talking about today about not thinking. And when things go bad on them, they're going to say those 3 words. When they realize like they've jammed up themselves in the community, they're going to say, well, I didn't think. Well, yeah, that's the problem. You started off and you didn't think. That's always going. It's always going. People are always going to resign to that when things don't turn out how they want it to turn out. That's how I felt. Red on TikTok says we don't have to agree with everything, but wishing death on someone is a whole different game, and that's how I take it because words matter to me. Words matter to me. Cheryl on Instagram says social media is one psyche. It cannot be hidden. That's why they created social media. You're absolutely right. Part of this is an experiment, and you got to pay attention to it because there are people who are failing the experiment. They're failing the experiment on social media, and it's affecting their actual social life. Like, that is not what you want to do. That is not where you want to be at. Yeah, words are everything, Cheryl. I mean, they are everything. They're literally everything. Words and actions are everything. What up, Maury? Like, those things matter so much that that's why I pay attention to words. That's why I articulate things the way that I do. I always tell people, man, like when people go to arguing and snapping and quick to do that, I say, I can do that too, right? I'm actively choosing not to be a person who speaks out like that. Yeah, it's still on my post. It's still on there down. I don't erase stuff like that. When people want to go publicly and show people who they are, I don't touch that stuff. I'd be like, yo, you put yourself on display, man. Don't be mad at me. And other people started asking him, yeah, I'm kind of curious as to what you mean by that or how you feel and why you ain't. Man, they went in on him. They went in on him. You know what I'm saying? Words are very, Cheryl on Instagram says, words are very important because body language speaks loudly also. Well, that's the thing. Only in a live can y'all see my body language. During these texting sessions, what's up, Denise? In these texting sessions, you don't get to see people's body language. So you only can depend on the words they say. Do you know, people, if you capitalize all your words, people think you yelling. For me, when that happens, the button got stuck. So I go back and have to erase it so it doesn't, I'm not yelling at nobody on social media. What does that look like? You have to. Listen, taking words seriously means you care. And if you care about what you say, then you will be very mindful of the words that you choose to use and how you use them and who and all those kind of things. That's right. People choose. Cheryl says people do not have to be negative. They can say anything, but when it comes from a negative place, it's because they are hurting inside. True story. Hurt people hurt people. Absolutely. If you don't have nothing kind to say, just don't say it. Nothing at all. Angela says on TikTok. I agree with that, right? I agree with just shut up. These opportunities that people are taking, and especially if y'all are watching this Kyrie thing is becoming way bigger than it ought to be. And you have to pay attention that man, I just it's a shirt I had on, Dakari. I told people stop buying it moving from this point forward. I can't act like I didn't like Adidas before. Dakari's talking about my Adidas shirt. I bought the shirt, I'm gonna wear it, but I didn't buy it at this point was standing with Kyrie, and I said it. I said, listen, if you are to from this point forward, we're not supporting them anymore on any level. This isn't support. This is my clothes. What I, what I'm saying, at a point when we weren't at a discourse with them, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not advertising it that way. I just happen to have this one on, and I like it because it pulls out the color of my eyes. Anyway, with people who are of high influence. It's funny that, LeBron James went on the record saying what he said, and then you started seeing pictures and videos of him being at events with rabbis and people like that. So it made sense. It all started to make sense. And now people are starting to dive into coming to protect Kyrie. So in order to protect Kyrie Irving, you got to dive into the background of those attackers. And unfortunately, Shannon Sharp and I like Jay Will. I don't know if y'all seen Jason Williams' response. He's the only media person who's came and stood in the line of fire for Kyrie Irving. He said he just doesn't get it. Why aren't people talking about Jeff Bezos and those kind of things? So when we talk about not thinking, I I think so much that it, that I want it to be a sign of respect. I want you to understand that I carefully, if I do something, if there's something that I say or do, I really thought about what I said. And that's why there are instances where I don't say much, and that it's good, Tasha. You got to watch it. He just really stood in the fold for Kyrie. But I don't do a lot of talking outside of on this platform in terms of I'm really about the action. I'm really about doing more than talking. I'm trying to do more walking than talking as much as I can. Commercial break real quick. Make sure you guys are hitting the like button. Make sure you guys are sharing. Make sure you guys put this live in somebody else's inbox or whatnot. If you want a gift, go ahead and do that. Yeah. And David said, now I'm second guessing all celebrity deaths, especially Michael Jackson and Prince. Well, we already know that those were hits, David. You don't have to second guess those. We know that Dr. Murray was hired to take Michael Jackson out from the very community that is condemning Kyrie Irving, because Michael Jackson was speaking out against the same people. Y'all do remember the famous lyric, kick me, kite me out, you're black, white with me, Jew me, Jew me. Y'all remember that, right? Sue me, Jew me. Y'all remember that? Like, y'all got to understand that. And Prince also was doing the same thing. Prince was also saying, hey, man, these people. Now, he didn't say, he didn't go into who it was, but he said the heads of these labels. You know what I mean? No, he didn't. He didn't, Red. None of that. And he said Michael Jackson said the greatest thing that he did wrong was that he settled out of court on the very first one. He should have fought it, but people advised him to sweep it underneath the rug. You know what I mean? So just so y'all understand, that's, we know that's not him, and he's had to wear that moniker the whole time. And it comes from those fleeting moments, and it goes back to, like we said, about having those people that are around you. Your circle matters, and unfortunately, the higher up you get, it's hard, because you get it. These people that you trust to be in position to help you excel and to keep you good are actually out there undermining you at every chance they get. It's a challenge, you know what I'm saying? What up, Eway? It's a challenge, and I think that, you know what I'm saying? Michael talked about it, going, like, it's not new. Like, so y'all understand that what we're dealing with is not new. Nothing about what we're dealing with is new. But I believe the response can be. The response on how we handle these situations by people who are actually thinking can make a difference. The part that needs to happen is people who are actually thinking. If we say conscious rappers are thinking because they're putting that out there, they're trying to put that out there in the world, well, we got to elevate those conscious rappers. If y'all don't want to hear the other kind of rap that isn't promoting great community and uplifting, then you have to adjust it. Then you change it. What up, Ross? You change it when that doesn't happen. You know what I'm saying? We are the cultivators of the community. We are the support staff. We are the foundation. And if there's something that we don't want to hear, or there's something that we don't want to promote, then we've got to change the narrative on that. Yeah, I watch Cadillac Records, amazing music, and that's an example. That's an unfortunate long life to fix to problems, sweeping it under the rug, but nothing is fixed. That has been the way it's been. Yeah, it is. You know what I mean? I'm well, man. How are you? Hope you're well, Ross. Cadillac Records outlines the exact culture that, that is being promoted even today, but on a bigger scale. You know what I'm saying? So these things that they're talking about, they're not new, but I believe that they're being spoken about at a time where something can change. And that's why, the conversation was implementing those things. Paula, I appreciate the Cash App. I see you. Thank you so much. I think you have to. We're a generation that have been asleep for a minute. I think this Kyrie thing, I think this Kanye thing was a thump in the head, saying, "Wake up." And because we have that, so Cheryl on Instagram says, but we've never had social media like we have it now. That's why these topics now cannot be put back in the bottle. True story. And we got to use it in such a way. What up, Rebel? We got to use it in such a way to compete with the other media machines. So this is the media machine that they try to control, but it's user supported. You know what I mean? It's user supported. So we have to elevate those people who are willing to have that conversation, but not only elevate them, but protect them. Because there are people who are already elevated, like Kyrie and Kanye, but we're not protecting them. You understand? Like, one of the hardest places to be is a leader in the community. Exactly. David on TikTok said, we've got the power if we will speak out and act on it. Yeah, and that's why we are paralyzed by what they've done to us in the past. And that is why you don't have a lot of leadership. You have a lot of go along with people. Hey man, what is the phrase? Man, as long as I'm getting my money, man, I don't even care, man. As long as I'm getting paid, man, I'm good. As long as I'm, there's so much I'm in there. And when you hear Kyrie speak, man, it's such a dope thing that he doesn't say I'm a lot. He says we and my people and my community. You know what I mean? All right, Coffee, you know what it is. Appreciate you stopping by. As always, make sure you hit the like button before you go and share the room a couple times before you step out. Appreciate that. I don't know if I think we're paralyzed by fear, Angela. Everybody's afraid of the consequences. It goes back to the beginning. You have to think in this day and age. You know how people say, I didn't think? Well, you have to think now. And you have to think strategically, and you should align yourself with people who are thinking. Maybe you ain't got all the answers, but you have the capacity to push things through. Maybe you don't have the ideas, but maybe you know how to support the person who's got the ideas. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you just saw the comments. It's crazy, right? I think that you have to, if you're not, listen, one of the dopest things, and I always kind of, because of the life I've lived, I always kind of use some examples that make sense to me. I watched Ludacris become a success. Ludacris used to be a radio DJ at Hot 97 here in Atlanta. Ludacris cultivated a team that agreed that he should be the star, somebody else should manage the business, and everybody else should support that. What up, Marcus? That, to me, is how we have to make these things make sense as we move forward. Everybody is not going to be able to do, or is not, or should not be looking to fulfill or stand in the shoes that I'm standing in right now. If I'm filling these shoes, then y'all just got to help me move. Y'all just got to help me, these shoes, it's got to end up in places where it's elevated and people can hear the conversation. And then you also have to say, we can't let nothing happen to this person. If this person is the mouthpiece, Cap, Kanye, what up, Cecil, Kyrie, if these people are the mouthpieces, then at some point we got to say, y'all see it, but I don't really think people will be meaning it. Y'all see it when people say protect this person at all costs. I'd be like, I see it, but do you really know what protecting that person means? Like, protecting that person means carrying their message with you everywhere you go and making sure that the enemy can't identify that it's a one-person thing, that there's only one person who can talk the talk. That's why I'd be so excited when we have those conversations, like on the days that I am making the apple cider vinegar drink in bulk. When we get on there and the room always blows up when I type in pre-making apple cider vinegar, or if I say anything about apple cider vinegar in the title, the room explodes. I ain't really got to say nothing because I've cultivated a conversation with Taushi, with Jersey, with Teray, and all these different people who've been in the live for a month or longer, that they can talk. I could log off and they could tell you everything you need to know. That's right, David. We got to quit letting them single people out, because when they single you out and they make you a martyr, or they do whatever they do, everything else falls apart. That's why the enemy, I said this before, the enemy never let you know who the generals were when they were out and about, because we knew the enemy was always trying to take out the head. You know what I mean? That was the issue. That was the thing. That was the strategy. That's the other part that I didn't think won't allow you to do, is have a strategy, to have prepared. You can't say I didn't think when you've prepared. When you've prepared, I didn't think can't even come in there, because you have thought. That's right, Tashi. They know we stomp our feet for a minute and go sit down, and that's because we don't have a strategy. You know what I'm saying? We don't have a strategy. So that's the dilemma. When you don't have a strategy, when you haven't thought, that's why I said you can't have a moment of not thinking. You can't have that moment. You can't have a moment of not thinking when you're trying to build strategy, when you're trying to cultivate a plan. You have to have thought of everything. And I'm one of those consequence, when you've been through enough, when you've made rash decisions in the past, you start saying, I could have done that better. I could have done something different there. You know what I mean? It's one of those things. And so that's what you end up being, is somebody who pays attention to everything and thinks about the consequences. And it goes down to even the smallest minute thing, which is what you say and how you say it. I'm very conscious of how, my emotions. I know that I'm in control of my emotions. So if I'm in control of my emotions, you can't stir me up. I think that's one of the cool things about watching Kyrie when he speaks as well, is that he doesn't let the attacks on him make him, even though he's provoked, he reserves the right to stay in control. All this stuff is, designed to get a reaction. When they started talking about the pandemic, they wanted to get a reaction, and people did not think. They did not think. And I think that's a good thing to do, Stephanie. Stephanie on TikTok said that is why I write everything down, because if I don't, I'm like, wow, I should have done this or that. I think, well, you notice that I started writing, I usually don't keep pen and paper in my studio because of the process that I use to write. But I think you should commit it to memory. But they are definitely things that need to be written down in order to really put things in order. We build those aspects. We build generational wealth that can't be taken away. I'm not sure where you're at with that, Cecil, but true story in some degrees. That's what should be happening, even if it isn't. Yeah, he does have his constitution is strong, Jacob. That's one of the things that we have to build in the community, is that, listen, you got to know your stuff. You have to be well versed. You have to be educated in what your conversation is going to be about, because they are coming for you at all costs. They're coming for you when you're not. And so I think about those things. I think about that people are absolutely going to be trying to poke holes in the conversation and in the mission. Again, if you look at any of my last posts on Instagram, you can see where people want to poke holes at it, but they're not standing up or standing in. They're not. The thing that irritates me the most is it's so easy for people to try to say dumb things or humiliate you or say something or undermine you, and they don't have the wherewithal to have a solution. Like, it bothers me when people can give you the reasons why they won't do something, but not give you the reason why they would or should do something. Okay, I see what Cecil's saying. So DJ Cecil on Instagram saying he believes we need more high-paid artists and independent executives to pool money in joint ventures. Food, transportation, renewable energy, these are all areas we need ownership in, and real estate. True story. I agree with all that. I think that that was the conversation I had in coming after I did after those Instagram posts. Like I told y'all, after the Instagram posts, some of my friends pulled me by the coattail and said, listen, you're on the right road. We love everything that you're saying, but don't forget this element. If you guys don't remember, I came back saying build. We need to build. You know what I mean? We need to build. We have to build things. And I can tell you, in that group of building, confidence is one of them. We got to build confidence. We got to build strength. We got to build. There's so many. Listen, and it's not difficult. We're already building the right mindset, and you can hear it. And this is what they're fearful of, is the conversation that we're having, where we're all reaching out and talking and teaching each other. And we've got people who are standing out there showing, build and teach, build and teach. I like that. Make learning cool again. I just think we need to make learning a necessity again. We got to make learning It ain't got to be cool. It's got to be one of those things that whether it's cool or not, it's what we do. You know what I'm saying? Like, what do they say? When you can't be creative, be consistent. Ooh, consistency. There's that word that's always going to permeate our conversations. If you can't be creative, be consistent. What does that mean? That even in the times that you don't want to do something, or you're not catching the vibe, or you're not feeling like it, you just do it anyway, because you understand in doing it, the practice of doing it makes it available all the time. Sometimes we want to pick and choose our moments, but you got to be listen, Kyrie Irving has to be on all the time when in public. He has to be consistent in his conversation, in his demeanor, in his approach every time when he's out. You could take it from the aspect of the sports side of it. When an athlete does not perform with consistency, they ridicule him. Oh man, he only dropped 10, 20 points. And that's a great performance, but it is open for ridicule, and people choose to do that any chance they get. That's why your consistency matters. If you're putting up 20 points every night, awesome. But for those of us who want to go above and beyond and whatnot, that's where that's where the strength of the community, that's where consistency pays off. That's where it becomes not just a routine, but it becomes a confidence that you know that at any point you can run the 100-meter dash in a certain amount of time, and you can consistently do that. Now, will there be times where you go above and beyond? Absolutely, and you'll have to. Adrenaline will kick in and take it over the top. But even when adrenaline happens, because you've done this so much, you're able to maintain that and use it correctly without looking like it's an anomaly, like it's a moment that came out of nowhere. So greatness starts with consistency. I like that. I believe it does, from the simple fact that it allows you to be counted on. Greatness consistency allows people. It makes you dependable. Inconsistent people, man, are a challenge. I've been inconsistent at one point. I've been a person. I was that guy who at one point would be like, people be like, yo, let's do this or whatever. And I'd be like, yeah, I'm down. And then I really do. And it was me being disingenuous. I should have just said from the beginning, man, I don't want to do that. I'm not interested. I'm not finna. Nah, man, I can't make it. And then there are times where my intentions are well, I mean well, but I just can't follow through. And those are the ones that are the most painful. You know what I'm saying? What up, Fly Lovely? That's why it takes a community. I can tell you one thing I have been excited about is in 10 days, this will be 3 months of going live on Instagram, and I've been live every day. I think I might have missed one or half a day, something like that, but I've been on every day. I can say that I've been I've been more consistent than I have not been consistent, if that makes sense. Like I've been on, for those of you guys on Instagram and on YouTube, you guys may have seen me sparingly, but I've been on TikTok since the day they gave me the ability to go live. I've been on it every single day. Even in the midst of traveling, I've managed to get on and have a conversation and motivate and cultivate a really good conversation that I hope is helping our minds shift just a little bit and bringing some positivity to the lives of those who have been there to hear it. So that is me learning to be disciplined enough so that I can be consistent enough for change. Not for myself as much, but for everybody else to also say, you know what, man, even if you're not as consistent, right? My hope is that you are, even if you're half as consistent, that's more consistent than you probably have ever been before. And then the change that you want to have happen is easier you're welcoming the change. You're inviting the change. I know a lot of the consistent we talked about was this right here. Woohoo! Yeah, I got my apple cider vinegar drink. I drank it yesterday too, man. So yesterday I jumped off abruptly. The guy came to fix my refrigerator or whatever, and I had to go monitor that while I was happening, and I didn't want to keep you guys on hold. So I ran up and did that. But yeah, y'all see, I make that drink and I drink that drink every day, so that we could be consistent together. I know some people need that. What up, Strictly Business? Some people need that to see it. What up, DJ Dub? Welcome to the live. And so it feels good doing it too. I can't even front. Like being consistent feels good. I don't care. It's one of those things. I see you over there on YouTube, Tashi. I see you. It's a different vibe on. So if y'all don't get a chance to go to my YouTube, make sure y'all visit it. Even if y'all watch the replays, y'all see it's totally different. It's a whole nother kind of thing. The whole vibe is colorful and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, but yeah, the things that we want, for the changes that we want, it's going to take time and effort. It's going to take sacrifice. And it requires you to think. So for those of you who are just joining today, the conversation was based on thinking, that people use those 3 words, I didn't think, as a scapegoat. You know what I'm saying? You're welcome. You're welcome, Letitia. Letitia says, woohoo, thank you for being dedicated to us. It's twofold. Remember, listen, I'm dedicated to you all, but I'm also dedicated to me because I know how I like to feel, and being dedicated and being able to show up and be consistent makes me feel great. And knowing that you guys are so reciprocal, you guys reciprocate the energy and the vibe. I don't know who wouldn't want to show up every day to get this. Denise says, and thanks to you and your motivation and inspiration, I have not had my eyes, her iced coffee caramel. That's so funny. Yeah. That's the cool thing, is that some people have adjusted some habits that they've had in the past, have broken some addictions that they've had, have built up their health and wealth. All these things, man, I think are I don't think people thought this was possible on social media. I think that they believe that you could have real change. And with that, I'll pause for the calls just for a minute, just so we can reset a little bit. For everybody on my YouTube, make sure you hit the thumbs up so there's a like there. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't. Hit the heart symbol. Do whatever you can to spend some social digital currency there. If you're on my TikTok, make sure you guys, the shares are kind of low. The likes look amazing right now, but if we get the shares up to over 20 or something like that, that'd be super dope. Yep, you don't think about it after a while, do you, Red Baby? It just becomes a thing that happens naturally. On Instagram, you guys can share as well. Hit the like button or whatever it is over there, and then super cool. I needed to do that because I don't do that often, and give people like just the instructional on how to spend social digital currency. If you want to convert that social digital currency into actual currency, like Sparkle did it today. She got a subscription today. I want to give a mad shout out to her for doing that. Go ahead with your bad self. Hey, listen, look, it's so much doper when you say please subscribe, Stephanie, when you have the subscriber thing next to the badge next to yours. That's so awesome. You have no idea how you look very well with those 2 things on your on your subscription. Yeah, but make sure if you're on my YouTube right now, if you're on YouTube, go ahead and hit the like button, which is there's a thumbs up there that you can hit, or the like button, and then you can share it and subscribe as well. And I thank you for the workout tips, muscles forming. Yeah, man. I mean, and I think that's one of the things that I get excited about as well, is that on this podcast, on this conversation station, that we touch on a few things so that you're not stagnated. Like I love the fact that you guys have given me the opportunity to expand the conversation. I know in the beginning, we would bounce off of apple cider vinegar drink as a starting point and bounce off of that into, of course, that's such a dynamic conversation, and for the many parallels that go along with it, we've had an opportunity to cultivate some amazing conversations. I have to say, I gave in yesterday. I had to try the Chick-fil-A Autumn Shake. It's the last week. I felt so bad after something so good. No, listen. So, as I've said before, you guys do not have to rid yourself of the taste and textures of the things that you like. When it comes to your health and wellness, part of having a healthy eating plan is to enjoy what you're eating. It'll make you more consistent. So in that situation, Letitia, I would have said, absolutely try the drink. You don't have to finish the drink. You could drink half of it and you won't feel guilty because you did what you wanted to do in terms of you tasted it, you got the texture of it, you enjoyed it, and that's all that should happen after that. Stephanie said you got to lead by example, just like you were saying, getting healthy, you have to do the work. And I think that if there was something plaguing us right now in terms of our community and our generation, is we're not doing the work. That's right, Jacob. You can order small or like I said, just you don't have to consume everything. You know what I'm saying? You can cut the burger in half. You can take the bread off the top. There are several ways to minimize that guiltiness that you might be feeling. What up, Miss Mickey? What up, Anisha? Anishka, man, you can't live so close and then not chop it up with me every now and again. That's crazy. So with that, you know, I wanted to be an example in consistency, but I also wanted to bring something to the table that'll change your life as well. And I think that throughout our conversations, I think that it's funny that this apple cider vinegar drink was the segue to that. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy that this was what segued us into so much more, yo. It actually started with, you know, Miss Mickey said, "What up, though? What up, Detroit?" It started with tuna fish and led to sharing more of my, you know, what I do as a routine, and in that, routinely, you know, talking and giving conversations. No, I don't sell it, Jacob. I just tell you how to make it, bro. That has never been, you know what I'm saying? I've not been on that side of it at all. I just been on the educational side of it, of what the benefits are, why you should do it. Cause I do it regardless. I'm going to do it whether you got, you know, everybody knows this by now. I was doing this before I was going live, and I'm gonna do it long after any of this stuff. You know what I'm saying? Sparkle. That is listen, I laughed a little bit, but that is absolutely a technique in mitigating the damages. Sparkle on TikTok says, if you are going to eat a little, you know, on the bad side, at least park your car far away from the door so you can burn some extra calories. Now, you can do, you know, of course you could do a whole lot more than that, but I love where you're going with that, Stephanie. I love that you're saying that you can mitigate the damages. And that's how we kind of look at things like that when it comes to our health and wellness, is what can I do to undermine gaining a lot of weight? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Jacob, consistency is going to create the breakthrough that you want. Listen, if y'all don't hear me say one thing, I say it on a regular basis. Your consistency, your success is on the other side of your consistency. Yep. Red Baby says he's got a lot of energy. You should, because you're lighter. You know what I'm saying? Jacob said, if you do the crime, you have to do the time. That's hilarious. It is not a crime to eat and enjoy your food. The crime is when you lie to yourself and you say that you can eat all these super duper healthy things for a consistent amount of time for the change that you want. It's a lifestyle change that needs to happen. And when you change your lifestyle, everything else will happen. So I went to the doctor the other day. The doctor was like, the things that you can, and I love the doctor that I have. She's super, super dope. She said, red meat, you need to eat as little of it as possible. But if you are going to eat it, you should eat the healthiest red meat that has no fat in it. Then she was like, pork is out. She's like, if you can leave pork out of your diet, you'll do yourself a great deal of good. And then she was like, chicken is good to eat. Fish, absolutely. You know what I mean? So those are just some generalizations for y'all to take, to think about. I'm not saying don't eat those things that you enjoy, but you have to eat them in moderation so they don't affect your overall health. And you got to eat them in distance. So once or twice a month, go have that amazing steak that you like to eat. And I'm even though she said it's really, really bad, you can have that pork, same frequency or whatnot. But if you load up on the vegetables, if you load up on the but you can, Miss Mickey, she said that's my issue. You can manage that, you know what I'm saying, by just stretching it out, you know what I'm saying, and start introducing some other things. But you ain't got to eat pork bacon, there's turkey bacon, you know what I'm saying? And that's the other thing. For most of the things, the cravings you have, you can change it, you know what I'm saying? David said it's okay to cheat. What do you say, David? It's okay to cheat. It's when the cheating has got you. That's funny. Mind Styles, what's up? So yeah, meat is protein, but there are other proteins out there that don't hang on your body the same way. And fish is one of those proteins that is really good. You know, beans is protein. Beans are protein as well, and chicken. So chicken, fish, and turkey is what's has been a part of my eating for the longest. So we just got to manage those things. It is a lifestyle change, not a diet. That's exactly it, Jacob. You got it. This is Jacob's first time here, and he's already got it. You know what I'm saying? Jacob, that's exactly what the conversation we have is it's a lifestyle change and not a diet. What up, Can Rock in the city? And that's what it says. It's just hard to just have one tamale, but it's still chicken that I eat. Yeah, you just got to manage it. And nobody's saying you can't have more than one, just not all in one sitting. That's right. You feel better with your consistency. You're absolutely right. Sonny, you just got to manage it a little bit. That's all. Not understanding no pork or red meat. Yeah, true story, minds. Because okay, at some point you say, well, I've lived my whole life, doing one thing. It is a thing, right? The difference is so for just to put this out there, and the older generation can eat those things the way that they eat them because when they were growing up eating them, they weren't processed like that. Y'all have to realize that we are dealing with more pesticides, more growth hormones. We're dealing with so much more in our food than our families were, that we have to knock down the processed foods that we eat. Like literally, I know people say that, and I hear you. Like this is one of those things where I'm listening actively to people say, man, well, our parents ate whatever they want to eat. Our parents have killed animals. Our parents have gone out in the backyard and chopped up their own food. They've gone to the lake and fished for what they want. Like literally, they went out and they were hunters. So when you talk about our parents and grandparents and their eating habits, their bodies are fortified in what and they worked their butts off. They were so much more active. Listen, maybe we'll have another conversation tomorrow about just how much activity matters. The then and now. Let's do that. Let me write that down. Tomorrow we're gonna have a conversation. That was then, this is now. That was then, this is now. Woo, that's gonna be a real crazy conversation. Because everybody wants to talk about the past, but don't want to talk about the present and how it doesn't reflect the past. Can Rock Sit in the City said slave food had to be rich for energy. I don't know if I agree with that. I just know that I know that they tried to offset the bull crap that they were being fed by trying to do and grow and eat their own foods. You know what I'm saying? Most of them walked to and from the store. Yep. There was so much. Tasha said, I'll be your personal secretary so you remember. Thank you so much. Analog versus digital. Yep. There's so many conversations. We have to have these conversations that discuss the past and the present. Mind Style says the older generation doesn't understand stretching daily to benefit, never want to try to evolve. That's because they you have to respect it though a little bit, Mind. They say because I've come this far and have had the kind of successes I've had in life, that I'm just gonna keep doing what I've been doing because it's worked. And that's a hard argument to have. That is a very hard argument to have. The fact that they've been successful in life. Like I always tell people, you can't tell a millionaire how to spend their money. You'll watch a millionaire, somebody that's got a ridiculous bankroll, go out and throw $100,000 at a strip club and won't give their closest friend $100,000. Let that sit for a minute. Let that marinate for a minute. Let that marinate for a minute. Like, there's so much to be said about these entertainers who, it's never a tax write-off, bro. It's all cash. It's not a tax write-off. It's cash. You know? They don't get that back. That's cash. They check out. They got a private stash of a certain amount of money and they throw it and whatnot. And again, this goes back to the conversation I said yesterday. I posted on one of my last posts on Instagram. I said this. I said to the Kyrie Irvings, to the Kanye Wests, to anyone else who may be wanting to quit their job. This goes out for everybody. For anybody who's deciding to quit their jobs, okay, we understand you're quitting it for yourself. Before you quit your job for yourself, I would like to implore you to do something for somebody else or for your community by staying on that job for another 2 weeks to a month or whatever, and either taking half of that money or all of that money and donating it to somebody or helping somebody or pushing somebody with that money that you hadn't accounted for. So Kyrie Irving was talking about retiring. I'm like, yo, play 10 more games if you're planning on retiring, and take that money from those 10 games and build an entrepreneur, or put some money into the community or somebody. This is money you weren't accounting for that you're about to leave out there. I think the equivalent of what Kyrie is doing vocally when it comes to this conversation on being anti-Semitic and all that, I think that it also needs to be parallel with what you do financially, because you can actually parallel those two things. If you're going to quit, yeah, plant some seeds. I say, listen, I'm stupid though. That idea actually derived from this, because I've never really worked in corporate America. I've been offered jobs in corporate America, and I actually go to the interviews, and it's hilarious because when I go to the interviews, because I know I don't want the job, I ask for everything like I'm the CEO. So when they ask me how much I want to get paid, and I know they're starting out of like $70,000, I'd be like, well, for the time and energy, that I'm going to be here, if we do the math, it kind of rounds out to being close to $140,000. That's what I'm willing to negotiate my time, the 40 hours I'll spend here. And then I'd like a company car as well, because I don't think that me having to travel to come to your job should cost me or the wear and tear on my actual personal vehicle. I'd like to keep this stuff business. So, and if I could have, an allowance for meal prep, I want to eat, like you guys want me at my highest level. And I know that, and I respect that. So I want to do the things that are going to allow me to be at my highest level while I'm at this company. So I want to hire a nutritionist to make sure that I can get a meal prep every week. And I need you guys to give me an allowance to do. I would ask for the craziest stuff, and you got to see the look on the people's face. Now, mind you, this is after I've passed all their tests with flying colors. This is after I've proven, like, they usually do the typing and all that. They do some other stuff. I type over 80 correct words per minute. My brother types 126 correct. My sister 109. Like, I play piano, and so that's another reason why I type so fast. So and then you guys could kind of tell I'm a little bit intelligent. These tests that they have for you at these jobs are pretty easy to answer. So when I'm scoring high and I'm looking like I'm actually looking like an overqualified candidate. Oh, I treat it like that. You know what I'm saying? That's how I go in. So anyway, that is true, David. People don't respect their worth. And I've been guilty of it even in my music career, of not charging people what should be charged. But there's a duality to it, which I balance it out with the opportunity to work for certain people, and having that work being displayed by them brings up my value in other places. I end up getting what I discounted them through other sources. So there are ways to balance out, how you do it. You just got to have a strategy and understand why that investment will make sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, there have been times where I've taken a lower cut for the opportunity to work with somebody who I knew was going to exploit it to a higher caliber of people. And in doing that, I could then charge a higher rate than I would have charged them. And it'll make even more money and more opportunities happen. So, my origin story when it came to producing is one of those things. Most of y'all know my story. Started off I wasn't charging for music. And then somebody offered me money, and then I charged $25. And then I told them, don't tell anybody. Shortly after that, I had somebody else come, and I charged them $125. The next one $250. The next one $500, all the way up to charging $1,500. And it is about relationships. So everything is about relationships. So you just want to be mindful of that. And that's where, again, words matter. And building relationships, you can't use those 3 words that we started off this conversation with, which is I didn't think. So I would implore every one of you, when you're having the thoughts of your success, as you're thinking about your interactions with people, as you think about how you're going to help or sow into people, that I didn't think can't be a part of your vocabulary. You absolutely have to look at everything in its wholeness. You actually got to play it out. You know what I'm saying? This is why, like I said, when I do my one-on-one consultations, I ask, what is it? What's the ultimate outcome? Like, what's the best case scenario for you in this situation? Like, if you know what the best case scenario is, then we're only talking about this. It's if this is the beginning, this is where you are right now, and the best case scenario is here. Well, then filling out this part in the between is easy, because there's a path. You know what I'm saying? To every beginning and end has a path, and determining that path is just a matter of having that conversation and exploring it and thinking. So as y'all go out into the rest of the day, man, it is Thinking Thursday. Y'all see the name of it, of the title of it. When you see it on YouTube and you go back and watch it, it's called Thinking Thursdays. Why? Because today I just wanted to put on y'all, just don't let I didn't think be the demise of something that could have been great. Don't let I didn't think hurt somebody else. That's got to be one of the most painful things to say to somebody is, because of the circumstances that they're in all of a sudden, that you have to share that conversation, say, I didn't think. Oh, I didn't think you cared not thinking. Now we have to talk about me caring, because you didn't think to even ask or even to have the conversation or or consider me in the situation. So I didn't think, 3 powerful words that we need to manage a lot better. They require you to think about the consequences while doing or before the action that you're actually taking, which is powerful in itself when you give yourself enough foresight to at least weigh things out in the balance, so that when you're dealing with other people, you've done it with enough amount of thoughtfulness. So when you guys think of me, hopefully you guys are being very thoughtful to our conversation and what we talk about. I could see some of the thoughtfulness in the likes and in the shares. I'll show you guys the book one more time. If anybody else wants to purchase the book, it's at yoursocialdigitalcurrency.com. That's yoursocialdigitalcurrency.com. We sent out books. I sent out books the other day. I'm excited about that. I'm excited about you guys getting the book. Sorry, Instagram, the words are backwards. But I got it right on TikTok. Yeah, we can get into that mind. Make sure you follow me. If you're on any of these and you're not following me right now, y'all might want to do that as well. I appreciate the likes. I appreciate the Cash App. Paula, I appreciate that. Paula Cash App me. I appreciate the Cash App. I appreciate all of you guys for gifting today. Let me see it to tell me who did it. And, whoo-hoo. Stephanie, subscribe. Say what? Let me see. Will it tell me who all? It won't tell me everybody, but so many of you guys sold into today's live. I appreciate y'all. If you're just joining me on any of these platforms, it ain't my fault. I've been here. So you got to turn on notifications. You don't want to be left out. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to miss these conversations because they ebb and flow on so many different levels. We don't dance in place, y'all. We don't dance in one place. We actually move around when we dancing, you know what I'm saying? So as we are dancing in our conversations, you want to be here from the beginning because you never know where it might go. Today we talked about a whole bunch of things. The main thing we discussed was thinking, how important and how powerful it is. You don't want to be on the other side of not thinking. Man, oh my God. You don't want to be in that position. You don't want to take anybody for granted. You don't want to not consider somebody by not thinking. So we talked about how those 3 words are challenging. Mind Style said deep talks. We do have them. It does go there. And I can appreciate that. And we talked about so many things that I'm hoping that you guys, when you guys get a chance to go back and listen to this on YouTube, that you guys are excited about it. I am looking forward to actually disseminating this information via a podcast. What up, Wanda Michelle? This will be available in the future on a podcast so that you guys can revisit it And if you're in your car or you just want to play it back and you just want to listen, don't want to see my face, it's all good. It's all good. If y'all don't want to see me, y'all can hear me. And you guys can hear the conversations that we've had in the past. I'm going to take a lot of the material and do that and create the audio for it so you guys can really, really kick back and enjoy it. The other thing I'll do is, so TikTok saves the conversations 90 days, right? So I can go back to my beginning lives, which I've already started doing, was downloading the lives from the past, and I'm going to start reposting them on YouTube. David says, I'm happy to actually watching you take the book from thought to reality. Yeah, man, it was a conversation point on Clubhouse where I was saying, because it's so meaningful, it was like, yo, I can't keep saying this over and over again. I need to put this in paperback form or some other way for everybody to consume and regurgitate it. And yeah, it took some time, but man, I'm excited. For those who don't know, this the book actually only came out earlier this year. You know what I'm saying? It hasn't been out for it's probably been out 6 months. I think I released it in March. So for it to do what it's done and for it to affect the people that it has, I'm excited about that. When you guys get a chance, you guys can watch the replays on YouTube. If you're not following my YouTube, it's the same as my name here, Dwight_Scrap_Reynolds. Make sure you go over to YouTube and subscribe. I will do some YouTube only content in the near future, meaning I'll probably put a banner up on Instagram, put a banner up on TikTok, but and announce it on Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn, and what is the other one over there? Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and LinkedIn. Yeah. But I'll make an announcement on those so that you guys will know, and I'll put it in advance. As of tonight I'm going to do something a little bit differently. Remember we talked about what's missing from the music. So I'm going to be doing a live tonight where people can send in their music, and at Clubhouse, I'll figure that out, Ken Rock. I'll figure out how I'm going to integrate Clubhouse back into the mix, because I may have to actually connect one more phone and then have 3 phones in front of me, which it really doesn't matter if the phone is in front of me for Clubhouse because it's not a visual app, but have Clubhouse running as well. Let me drink my drink, man, while y'all. Yeah, I'll find a way to integrate Clubhouse back in the mix a little bit. There's a way to do it where I can actually have it a part of the YouTube, Facebook, and those as well. Jacob, 8 ounces of water, 2 teaspoons of apple cider vinegar, 1 freshly squeezed lemon, and that's what's up. She said, I found you in the YouTube house with Lalo. That's what's up. And then honey to taste, raw local honey. What do you mean you found me in the YouTube house? What does that mean? I have no idea what that means, Ken Rock. It is good. Yeah, it's good. Have a wonderfully blessed day. So Angela wants everybody to have a wonderfully blessed day filled with love, peace, and happiness. And listen, y'all should be really happy because we're been in the corner on to the weekend. The weekend starts tomorrow. It's like driving to the lake and you can see the water. That's how y'all should be right now. Y'all should be excited, like, oh my God, there go the water. Yes. Like looking out the window, like, we're getting closer. Okay. You know what I'm saying? We just got to get ready to park. That's where we at. Oh, okay. That's what's up. That's dope, Ken Rock. Yeah, man. I'm trying to move around a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But tonight, 9:00, I will be giving back. So if y'all know any musicians, producers, songwriters, rappers, all that, we're going to go and I'm going to have them send their music in to, if you go on Instagram, it has the address. It's the Green Room Studios 1 at Gmail, where they can send in the music and then I will play it live on the show and I'll critique it. Excuse me. We'll go through it and say and figure out what's missing in it. And the audience will also be able to participate because You guys are the consumers, and honestly, there's a bit of selfishness in creating, and then there's a bit of, I do this for you all as well. That has to be kind of be met. I'll play it official. Just gotta so here's the email address, TGRS. There you go. Boom. That's the email address, the Green Room Studios 1. I'm gonna post it on all the platforms right now. Where to go to submit the music, and then the time we're starting is at 9:00. Once I got the songs, and then I'll play a few as well, so y'all can understand the caliber your records should be at in order to to give your songs a chance out here. Because there's typically what I hear with new producers, new writers, new singer songwriters is there's just a little something missing. There's just a little bit of something that isn't there, and what I've been able to do is tweak that for most people. Now, under most circumstances, I'll have people, we'll have a consultation about their exclusive music, and we'll sit and talk for an hour, and they're allowed to play me as much music as they want me to hear to critique. Because ultimately, you need another ear, and an ear who understands what a hit should sound like. Now, if you're just making music to make music, then you can get people's feedback, and that's cool. But if you're trying to make smashes, if you want impactful records, then you got to plug all the holes in it before you release it. Because once you release that music, people will tell you everything that's wrong with it, or they won't, or they'll just not like the record. They tell you in most industry meetings, you have 15 to 30 seconds for that record to make an impact. It's the same in the general public, just the general public kind of gives you more of a pass if they have your story that goes along with it. That is another part of the discussion I think people are going to enjoy, is because y'all see how I work. We're going to talk about the songs, but because there's so much that goes along with it, and it's so much bigger than just what things are, I think you guys will really appreciate the perspective and the building of what a smash record should sound like. So I want all the musical submissions in by 5:00. I will post the post on TikTok momentarily. I'll repost it on Instagram, and then I'll post it on my YouTube channel as well, so people can do it to get to it. But TikTok and Instagram work better for immediate notices, because the ability to receive that information is already it puts a notification at the top that there's some information for you to get. With that in mind, y'all, for those of you who are participating in the room, I love the participation in your conversation. I love the participation in your gifting. I love the participation in you spending your social digital currency. I am Dwight Scrap Reynolds. I show up every day between 8 and noon. Usually it'll be either as early as 8 o'clock, no later than 10 o'clock, unless there's something else going on. And if I miss those appointments between 8 and 12, I will show up later in the evening, because I want to be consistent. I want to show up for you guys, and that's just what it is. Again, you guys can support the show by going back and watching any of the past videos on YouTube. What up, Dago? You can show your support that way. They have a thing. I noticed that what's really cool is, because of my progress on YouTube, they've installed what's called applause or something like that, that if you like the videos, you can actually support the videos there. You can buy a super chat or super like or donate or do anything, which is always dope. I usually put that money back into the podcast. In the future, I may call on y'all even more succinctly, so we can get other really dope guests to be a part of the show. And I would love to be able to say, hey man, thanks for showing up. Lunch is on us on with my champions and whatnot. They've gifted you lunch today, so here's this and things like that. So that would be awesome, I think, to be able to increase the information with, so when you got a guy like me surrounding me with specialists or bringing specialists to the table, I think is super awesome, because again, perspective is everything. I think I'll have another way of having a conversation with them about different things. So if there are people that we need to, like, I want to bring this trainer to the live. He's super duper dope. I want to say he's like a body sculptor. I don't want to even call him a trainer. I want to call him a body sculptor because he looks at you and he tells you nutritionally what to eat. He gives you guidance on supplements to take as well as a routine for your workouts. And then I want to there's a masseuse who's also on TikTok. I want to bring her on because the importance of a great massage balances out there's several people I want to bring to the live who are specialists at what they do. They don't do a whole lot other stuff. They just focus in on their creative space that I think will be beneficial to our live. I got a couple. Hey, Grandma, it's been a minute. I got a couple doctors that I know will be willing to sit down and chop it up about health and wellness. But again, I don't want to bring anybody on this platform and not be able to at least buy them lunch or a really dope dinner. You know what I'm saying? So we got to get into the space where, if we can, just start being able to, to appreciate these people at a level of, of cultivating $50 to $100, you know what I'm saying, in these lives. So we can say, hey, man, we got you a gift certificate at Morton's, or, we got you, we can't, we got you $100 to spend however you want to spend it for being here on the show. And that's a start, right? And if we really manage it correctly, we grow the live, we grow the room or whatnot, the burden of any one person wouldn't have to do it. It could be done as a collective, and we can get these people on the show and also talking about the show and everything, and giving you guys like a load of information that they'll be specialists at doing. I just wanted to run that by y'all. We'll see how that works. I'm not looking at doing that anytime in the near future, as I want to get the cultivation of our lives, just getting used to sewing into others so that you can get sewn back into, especially those guests that we have on our live. We've reached 20,000. I seen y'all wanted to make that a goal. Jacob kind of championed that. We 20,000 strong on our likes. We're over 12 on our shares, which of course we'll manage that a lot better. I want our shares to at least be at 50 to 100 on a regular basis. So those are the two metrics that we can do on a regular basis. I am going to be imparting on you all to start supporting the live so we can get some more guests in here and get some other people. I just want to bring some other talent to the table so we can have these discussions that are absolutely going to benefit you guys in the future. So keep that in mind. We've been in the corner. We're in the last 2 months of the year. I'm excited. Thanksgiving, I'll be broadcasting to y'all from somewhere in New Mexico. I can't think of the name of the place right now. But I'll be broadcasting from hopefully some beautiful weather with my toes in the sand and some blue water and the whole nine. You know what I'm saying? If there's one thing I love that blue water. I love that clear water. That's what's up, Tashi. Yeah, and that you don't know that works out and that helps out a whole lot, especially on the YouTube side. So for all my champions out there, I really appreciate y'all. Y'all give a round of applause to our new champion. Stephanie is one of the new champions. Everybody else, listen, if you guys want to subscribe on TikTok, it's right next to my name. You don't have to do it today. You can do it, in the future. But yeah, I appreciate y'all. I'm signing out. I'll talk to y'all later. Have an amazing day. Tomorrow, that was then. This is now. What's up? All right, y'all. This is not goodbye. This is to be continued.